Okay, so finally received the package. Here's the missing link to the connection and to the conversion of the computer. However, you can still do it without this. I mean, you're just gonna have certain limitations. You will have to manually install, well, unplug and plug the transformer, the AC plug. But here in this part, you can tell it's the correct part because it doesn't have the little square right here, the sensor, the intrusion sensor. I think it's what that is, or no, it might be something else as simple as the firewire. It's a little two squared, I'm not sure, but it's a little buddy right here. It's like labeled the same part, different abbreviation. However, a lot of people
get confused. I went through hell just to get this part. There was one online merchant who had it.
So let's take a close look at the correct part. I actually already opened this because I wouldn't be able to record this video and show you. So I had this, and I just bought this pretty clean light. As you can see, this part right here, that long harness, actually is making it more difficult for me to illustrate. Maybe at an angle, yeah. That long, I think it's a 15 pin, I'm not certain, but on the Dell 690, it won't. There's a Dell 690. Here's the motherboard, the t7400 motherboard. Well, let me move this aside. This is junk, and I'm probably gonna do it today. Here's the correct. That's here. There's here. This firewire, you could use the same one from the Dell 690. Let me demonstrate my setup. Here is the original, the first Dell 690 I got. It has a hacked. It has a 64-bit gigabyte connection riser cards, with this being a 750 water, so it's not 1,000 water, and I already demonstrated that in my past videos. I talked about that. And here's another Dell 690 that I bought. I had to build this. This only came with the chassis, this whole thing right here, just this, the body. I added all this other peripherals, this external stuff. This one actually is 1,000 water because my plans was to use this guy here and use the 1,000 water as the advantage to do the conversion. But this one runs smooth. It don't have 64 gigabyte RAM, only has 32-bit gigabyte RAM because it doesn't have the riser boards. And like I mentioned, this one I built it. It only came with the chassis. I had to buy the motherboard, hard drives, cables, all the other stuff that it needed. So this I built from the ground up. I just bought the chassis. This whole bin was like, it was kind of expensive, like 86, 75 bucks used on eBay. So this one is you running a Windows 10. I don't really like Windows 10, but it's running Windows 10, Reason 10, and it has Acronis True Image software. So this one I'm not even gonna mess with because this has the exact ISO with everything already built in it, all my samples and the stuff that's personal. It's all in here. So I love Acronis True Image. It's like one of the best things I've come across in this lifetime. And let's show you what I got underneath this setup. I got a CDJ, I got a fuel pump, AEM fuel pump for my car. I haven't installed it. I bought a Cubase 6, but it was already labeled for somebody, so it was a waste of 60 bucks. And here goes what I was just talking about, Acronis True Image 2019 backup. So I'm not gonna mess with this chassis because this one has my, how do you call it, my additional setup in case my first setup messes up on me. But everything's running well. These workstations are really a blessing, even though they're really old and are left behind by like the latest precision workstations and supposedly the i7s. Well, anyways, let me get back to it. So this is the correct part. We're gonna go ahead and start doing the conversion. And I know this was the missing link. I could have still done it anyways, installed it. So let me go back to what I was saying. Move this out the way. So this is the one we're gonna do. See, this one already has a keyboard. This setup here is a Dell 690. What I really love about this setup is that I bought it really affordable, and it already had most of the stuff I needed, like the risers. I mean, it didn't have all the RAM maxed out, which would have been a good thing, but it was still a blessing because it had the risers, the whole setup of the risers. And if you buy that by itself, it's going to be about $100 to $70 just to do that essential upgrade. So in a way, it was a win-win for me. It runs smooth too. It has a good video card, better than the ones that I have installed on my other Dell 690. So I have 3 Dell 690s, one back there, one right here, and another one over here. But this one's going to be converted to a t7400. This guy here. We're going to move this stuff here. It's front panel, input output panel, front panel, which looks the same like the t7400, but only the back changes, 1 or 2 connections, and we're going to get that going. So basically that's the setup. See, here goes the 1000 water, and it's like an oval. Oh no, it's a square. I'm sorry, I messed up. It's a square from the back. So there's a t7400 panel, and later I'll show you the Dell 690 because I have that part like on 3 occasions, just sitting around extra parts. I'll just keep it. But I went through a lot of drama just to get this. So this was a $30 fix, $35.30, and it came pretty quick from the mail, from the online merchant. So this was the missing link. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in that motherboard over there, where the light's shining right there. The motherboard, the t7400, into this Dell 690. This is a Dell 690. Like it says, Precision 690. If you can see that, yeah, look, Dell Precision 690. So we're gonna convert this to a t7400. And I'll explain later why it's an easy fix. So people, if y'all can follow this build and go ahead and have a faster, more capacity, faster processors. I have the processors already. Last time I checked, supposedly I think I got the right ones. The ones you were like the most you can max out on that chassis, supposedly. So that's a good thing. I already have that. I'll explain the cause and how I obtained those processors. They look brand new, although they're used, but they look absolutely new. So it was a good bargain. It was like 55 bucks, I think. Anyways, let me go ahead and shut the video so I can get ready. I'll continue. Okay, here is coming apart the Dell 690. Like I said, it was a win-win situation because they already had the risers and a good video card. The video card's over here. Oh no, sorry, it's over here. That's the video card. It's a better video card from what I usually use. And I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble it and start putting it together, doing the conversion from a Dell 690 to a t7400 precision workstation setup. Let's continue forward with the build. Okay, so now you remove this. This is the one I was telling you about, this little piece right here. The t7400 doesn't use this little socket, this little connection. Although the 1934, what is it? The P1394 firewire is the same by piece and part. So this you can reuse. However, this you cannot. I tried using it, but to my knowledge, it just wouldn't fit. So this has to be removed. So we're gonna unplug this. We're gonna remove this panel. We're gonna take it by this little screw, and possibly the other one over here. And then we're supposed to remove this front panel, which this is pretty simple to do anyways. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna do a comparison next to each other so you can see what I mean. Like I said, you can reuse the firewire. It's the same by part and number. It fits perfectly. This you gotta replace the power source. Things a 15. No, it's almost identical in pin or 1 pin difference, but it should fit, man. I don't know if I was to force feed it in there, it'll probably break the pin. So So this is the next step. Let me go ahead and get this out the way.
This is the Dell 690. This is the part that I just removed. This is the little part that will not interface. And also this right here is somewhat barely any different. The firewire 1394, it's exact piece by part number and identical part that does fit correctly. The only thing is this right here, this power panel, this 15 pin or 16 pin or whatever the case is. Or I don't know if it's 18 and 19. It's a difference. One is 19 pin, this is 18 pin. Almost identical by one difference of a pin. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So this is the correct part. Because the correct part has this little piece right here. And it doesn't utilize this little socket. So this is the Dell 690. So this was the missing link right here. We're going to go ahead and install this. Over here we're going to reuse this guy. This guy we're going to leave it in there, but we're not going to reuse it. We're not going to reuse him. We're just going to tuck him in, hit him there, and make sure that on this other end we're not going to mess with him.
Because he's not going to be used in the equation anymore. This is the exact same piece by part number. Just make sure that it's not broken. This will stay here tucked in because it's held on by this little piece of plastic. This little grommet that clips into this little this rail right here with this plastic rail. So we're going to leave that alone. We still have to remove the motherboard and these processors because these were expensive. They're 3.73 Dempseys, which are really fast with hyper-threading, true real hyper-threading inside of them for the Dell 690. So we're going to remove these guys, the motherboard, and we're going to put the Harpertown, the 3.2 quads for the t7400 motherboard. That supposedly, I think that's the highest you can go from what I read, but I'm not too certain. So let's go with the build. Continue forward with the conversion.
Okay, now we're going to start taking away all these little screws that are in here. There's one over here, there, everywhere, right there. Where are they? You can see them. They hold the motherboard in place. Bam. Bam. So we can remove this out the way. So let's remove all these little screws.
So as you can see right here, these interfaces are gonna be free of charge. They're gonna go in really smooth, but that's because there's no plate. However, as you can see, it's not gonna line up correctly. I could force feed it, but I'm gonna have to cut some of this hard plastic off. Mostly right here, this first, from this yellow, blue, green, purple, all the way up here, make us the 1394, open it right there, because it changes. They just address those connections. They flip them around. I guess to do it on purpose, so that you want to do these conversions. However, the beginning was done correctly, but I'm still gonna go ahead and chop off some plastic right now. I didn't want to do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways, but just to show you. And to me, it seems like I didn't want to install it like this, but this motherboard didn't come with the plate, so I'm gonna try to just tighten up as many screws as I can, line them up, and don't put it with the plate. Hope I'm not making a mistake by not doing that, because this one has the plate. But when I was looking at it, this is the Dell 690. It was a pain just to pop it open. I don't want to break it, so it's missing this plate right here, and it's important. You should have that, but since I'm already done this before, well, not this build, but I messed with this computer multiple times, I'm just gonna go ahead and risk it and put it like that. Plus, it's easier to maneuver, whereas if you have the plate, it's so hard to put it in. And I kind of messed up some of these little pins right here, popped off, but that's not no biggie. So I'm gonna go ahead and go get a saw, tiny saw, and start chopping that off. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop from here.
Okay, this is some pretty sloppy work, but I went ahead and used some pliers. But if I had like the correct tools, I could have made clean cuts and done this pretty much more easier on me and make it more effective. But So this is an emergency. We're gonna go ahead with the procedure and continue forward. Now we're ready to do the rest. Let's go forward.
Okay, these guys, you have to spin them around. There's 4 of them. So I'm assuming it's once you take those off, the motherboard comes off and you could use the aluminum panel as the baseboard. So I done took out 1, 2, 3. The last one, you might be able to do it with your hand, but it might be a little tight. So you might need one of these, but just be careful that you don't strip it. But that's pretty much it. That's the next step. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's continue forward with the conversion. Okay, next you put the fastest processors you can put. We're gonna put the Harpertowns 3.2 GHC, and they're quads, 8 cores. Front side buzz is large numeric value. I'm not sure if it's 1600 or higher, but according to the internet, these are probably the fastest processors you can put on this t7400 motherboard. That's what's inside now. And according to this setup right here, you can see this dual video card slots implemented into the motherboard. No more having to do the Dell 690 bridge point. Well, not the bridge point, but the SLI bridge hookup, where you could put, and you even got to get the external graphics card that supports 2 of these. So this is pretty cool with the Dell T7400 motherboard. Yeah, it already has this built in. So let's go ahead and do that. I was just verifying that was the correct processor because I didn't want to put them in there and then having to take everything apart just to put the correct processors. So far that's what it looks like. Might not be perfect, but right now it's an emergency, so let's go forward with the conversion. Let's do it.
Okay, so everything went well except this guy right here. I'm not able to get him situated correctly. Sorry about that. It's just stupid.
Okay, so here's the final conclusion. Everything's in there except one of the second cores I wasn't able to put it in. I had such trouble, drama. I wasted hours and hours and countless hours of trying to get it to work, and it just wouldn't tighten up. So there goes the second core. The processor's in there. Who knows what's gonna happen. Here's the old Dell 690 motherboard with the didnt processors. I'm gonna take these out and probably, if I don't sell this, I'll probably just keep it for a spare part because I know this is a good motherboard. And here's the back. Hope I don't drop it. Let's give a little bit of light. I hope I don't give too much. As you can see, it's really crappy work, but I gave myself at least this. I'm gonna split and make several out of these 2 in case I can't reach this one. But I left these available, and these 2 guys right here. And if I would have had the right tools, it would have been easier. Everything would have been much easier. The first one, the network adapter, I'm not going to use that. The USB, the middle one, I am going to use it. I'll probably split it because I might not be able to get to that one at the end. Snug fit. Let me give it less light so I won't mess up the video. But there it goes. You can see that I cut it out using pliers. I didn't even use it would have been too time extensive, consuming the whole day, although it's already about to be 12 at night and it's raining. But I wanted you to get a looks. It only has 1 heatsink in there. It has 2 cores, 2 Harpertowns. It has the T7400 motherboard. And let's see what happens. And it has 2 empty hard disk drives, 250 and a 77 gigabyte. So as long as I could pull up the BIOS I don't know about the heat sink, the second one that's not in here. There's only one that's tightly securing the first CPU, the first Harpertown, and the second one is in there, but it just won't. I couldn't put this heat sink, or something wasn't working. There goes the clone. That's the clone. But right now we're looking into the Dell 7400 motherboard. Let's look at it again. And let's finish up. Let's continue forward with the build. Here, welcome Lord Beerus, the Destroyer. There's little balls right there. You see that little sack he has? It's been hanging. Before he didn't have that, so we suspected he was a female or girl.
That's testicles. He has testosterone production. So he's producing a lot. Very active. He's pretty strong little fella. I don't blame this little guy. Let's call him Lord Beerus.
Okay, so this just came in today in the mail, so you're gonna need the correct video card for the t7400 motherboard that's currently in here, and it might not be booting because it's using a Dell 690 high-end video card, because I actually bought this Dell 690 quite cheap, and the dude hooked me up with a lot of stuff. So I took out the old Dell 690 precision motherboard. Not sure which model it was, but I know it's a 690. I don't know if it was a DMY71 or a D9434. However, I do know that I have most stuff here to do the conversion. Like I said, the front panel was changed from a 690 to a authentic T7400, and it has the power board cable as well, the correct pinout, and also the 1934. I might change that one, but they look so identical and congruent that I don't even think they should pose an issue. But we went from a 1.4 code to stating that it's a motherboard failure to a 234 stating that carefully remove the USB peripherals or any accessories that are attached, and that didn't help. So let's put the correct video card and see if it boots up. Well, let me go ahead and stop petting Lord Beerus, the Destroyer. He came in here, he wants to see me do the conversion, so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all see him for the time being. Anyways, let's get back to business. Let's go ahead and finish the conversion. So I'm not sure what this is. I forgot if it's a 1760 Quadro NVIDIA, but it's a correct part. It's like the third or the fourth one in the row. The first one was a little bit expensive, so I didn't get that one. Of course, it had more gigabyte of video memory, so it was a much better deal. Well, better performance. I mean, not deal, performance. But this was an affordable $15, $20 graphics card, and it's intended for the T7400 precision motherboard. So there shouldn't be no excuse why it's not booting up. So let's go ahead and put this, assuming it's good and working order. But the guy assured me that it's viable and good, and there shouldn't be issues. Let's go on. Let's go forward with the build. Okay, this will be the first time boot. Let's see if it boots. Oh, still getting the stupid 234 message. Congratulations, it's been done. T7400 motherboard has finally been responsive. It's installed on a Dell 690 chassis. As you can see, it says Dell 690. Let's go up into the BIOS. Oh, okay, let me get back because I'm gonna have to get the keyboard that's down here. Let me go ahead and put the keyboard up here so I can navigate with it. Let's look into the parameters. This BIOS version is the A04 Precision Workstation T7400. It was a pain in the... It's only reading one processor. I don't understand, there's a two. So it's only reading one processor? It has two, but I think I know why. CPU 0. And it's dual, it's not using quad either, but it has the riser boards. Maybe because of the low gigabyte and the ranking is only 2. So I suspect that. I know it's 16 gigabytes really low. PCI is a factory PCI. I mean, well, yes, I mean, I meant to go to the video card. It's actually, the video card is factory, but yeah, it's weird because it's only reading one processor, but the bottom processor, where it's closer to the RAM, it's actually not. I couldn't tighten up the bolts, so the heatsink is on top of it. So maybe, but it's weird because it's showing processor 0. Why isn't it not showing processor 2? I mean processor 1, 0, 1. Yeah, it shows 0 at the way bottom. See, CPU 0. It should say CPU 1 enabled and this is disabled, because this one's the one that's not tying all the way. But it's showing 12 megabytes of L2 cache and a 1600 megahertz, 1600 bus speed, and a 3.20. This is the Harpertown X5482 3.2. There's two cores in there, but like I mentioned, one of the heatsink cores, the bolts there, I'm not sure, but I would have to re-inspect the motherboard on another t7400. I don't see any threads. I don't know if that's the problem, but because the bolts are going all in, and they just zoom in. They're not really, and I checked it really well, so I'm gonna have to recheck that tomorrow. But I'm just glad that it finally booted, because I was having issue after issue. What I did change was the 1394 firewire cable to the t7400, but they look so similar that I figured why not just keep the Dell 690 and reuse that one, because it's the same thing. It's supposed to be the same thing, unless that's what changed the whole booting, or if it was the video card that I have it snapped in correctly. I just unplugged everything, the 3 main power units, and I changed the red firewire cable from the, because I thought they were congruent, and it turns out maybe that was the missing key, the missing link. But what gets me going here is that the CPU 0, it's reading it well. This is the one that shouldn't be, it should not, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to recheck my video. If it's not, retighten all the 4 little threads, 4 little screws, whereas the top CPU has the heatsink, and that one's all the way in completely tighten like the way it's supposed to. So it gets me because it's only showing one. I don't see the other processor, and it's in there. In fact, maybe I should open it too, so that y'all can see this for yourselves. Or would it pose a danger if I open it and mess up everything? Oh, and what else did I put to the L2 intruder? It's weird because I thought that thing was not even viable, or there was no point in having it because of the fact that I still have the firewire cable from the Dell 690 along with the intruder cable in there. They're just not plugged in. They're moved out the way to make room for the other cables on the front end panel. So it is a plug and play operation. So here goes proof. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it open. Let me get my bottom light and expose it. But just to show y'all, I know nothing bad should happen. Let me put the phone down temporarily, a few seconds. Hold on. That's the one that I bought for the T7400. And you see the other red one with the intruder? It's in there. I just moved it to the side. And you see, and then I plugged this little red cable here, this intruder socket, this intruder harness, to know that I popped open the hood. See, and it has a factory T7400, this came in today, this video card. And I changed that from this one that was in there from the Dell 690. This one that I got, maybe that was problematic, it wasn't reading it. So it's using the factory from the user board of the PDF file, where it tells you the dimensions, everything. And it goes back to, whoa, I almost messed up my video. I'm trying to show the community my sloppy work. There it goes. You see how I used a flathead, and I bent the metal. It was quite long, excessive work, but I still did it to make it fit. But it did fit good. So there you see proof. So Dell 690 chassis using a T7400 motherboard. I'm gonna change this primary hard drive into a solid state drive. It should be coming in next week, early next week. And you can see there goes the red cable. It should be the same part. Maybe that was the missing link. But like I said, I unplugged this power cable the one over here and the one over here. See? Let me go ahead and... This was just to celebrate. It was a successful swap. Couldn't be happier. As you can see, the proof is there. It reads Precision Workstation T7400 BIOS version. And I thought the guy that sold me the motherboard from online, because I've gotten screwed over several times, like 3 or 4 occasions where I buy from eBay. And it takes so long to use their product that when it comes to it and it's time for me to use it, here I'm running the live assessment test to see diagnostics, see what's happening internally, what I can see physically from the outside realm. So I'm not gonna run this whole completely because of the fact that I'm doing a sloppy job by holding this phone and recording the footage, but this is just so you could get an idea that it's happening before your eyes. There's harpertown processors in there. There's a quad times 2 makes 8 individual processors, but I know according to the BIOS it wasn't reading one of my CPUs, and I know why. So we will surely fix this issue tomorrow. Let me go ahead and stop the video so that I can keep in track of the software, see what it's telling me, if I pass or fail anything, and I'll keep you updated. Thank you. Okay, as soon as I plugged in the actual plug, the power strip unit, the transformer, the plug, it lit up green, but what gave me worries was that it didn't stay lit. So I'm not too familiar with the T7400 power plant or the architecture of that device, but right now I feel relieved because I put this other motherboard, but I came across one, I won't really say an issue because right now it booted into the BIOS and it's reading both processors.
And also the heatsink core didn't give me an issue at all. I only saw 2 tiny little, I guess, pins that were like, they seemed a little bit kind of like they were bent, or I don't know, man. I can't really say much, but this is the T7400 chassis. Well, this is the motherboard that came in today, and this is the motherboard that I replaced because the other motherboard was, see how you see precision, let's see which one this one is. And this one reads A03, May 30th, 08.
So this is a different motherboard. You see, this is the evidence. I'm gonna go ahead and, I know my video is really long, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the mix so you can see firsthand that my hack works. It's nothing new. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there already know about this, but I haven't seen YouTube or any channel that shows this hack or this setup. As you can see, I have the harpertown here and it's reading both of them, so it's a good sign. The only thing that really threw me off was that when I plugged in the power unit on the Dell 690s, well, this is a 690, but it has a T7400 motherboard. Usually these stay solid green, it just stay lit, and I think I read that that's a sign that everything's good and in good working order. So right now we have the 1, 2, and the 3. When we put it in there, we have a 500 gigabyte hard drive. I also had a solid state drive, but I'm not going to run that just yet. Because like I mentioned, with this motherboard, it seemed perfect and everything because it had the metal aluminum pan in the bottom supporting the motherboard. But the only thing I saw with this bright white light was the fact that I saw 2 tiny little pins on CPU 0 on the bottom. I think, if I'm not mistaken, on the bottom right here, the first CPU, I saw 2 little, and in fact I'm gonna reach out to the merchant and tell him, see what he says, see if he could compensate me with some memory, because I know that they didn't seem to be in the safe mode, but at least it booted, man. And maybe that might be and I just really wish I had a T7400 so I could compare both of them, and like a T7400 in its original chassis that's in good working order, and I just plug it in and see how it behaves. The other thing was that I already located the T7400 plug, and I might just order that because this other guy has it, and it's a OEM, and I want to see the difference. But this is a Dell 690 using the 1000 watt into the T7400 motherboard, and as you can see by the screen, let me navigate so you can see the good data. But let's go back to the main parameters where it shows you Precision Workstation T7400 BIOS version A03. The other one, if I'm not mistaken, was the A04. So this is a different one. But like I said, I saw 2 tiny little pins, man. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but hopefully everything will work out and there won't be too much drama, man, because I really want to use this and focus on this stronger chassis as opposed to, see, like this one's plugged in and look how it behaves. This one, it lit up, but after that it just went away. Like the pattern kind of like lit up green and then it changed and then it just stopped. I didn't see any more green, and that's how my other motherboard was behaving. Well, the other motherboard was having issues even going into this, so that's why I removed it. But it's because the CPU one on the top side was really damaged. That was my fault for not checking it, you know, when I received it from the merchant, so I got screwed over. But this motherboard seems a little bit more respectful. But like I mentioned, I saw that those two issues with the bottom CPU, just two little individual tiny pins that I saw, just two. Because I had that white bright light. I don't have it on right now, I just turned it off because it was already too bright in here in my room, and it's today's Saturday night and it's already nighttime. But let's see what happens. Maybe I'm overreacting, but let me go ahead and shut down the video because it's already long. My video's over already, like 45 minutes. But I guess this is a successful conversion from a Dell 690 to a t7400 precision workstation, BIOS version A03. So tune in.